So can you able to view my screen, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Okay. Today, let us have a discussion about the research challenges in IoT, and also we can give the hands-on session through this open source software tool. So this is my agenda of Internet of Things. Let us have an introduction about IoT and what are the enabling technologies in IoT and how the sensors are interfaced in medical applications or else industrial applications, how the sensors are interfacing and how we are monitoring the information. Like that, we can discuss, and also how the IoT model, that is nothing but the architecture. Like we have studied the architecture for if, for example, if we are considering the microprocessor or also microcontroller, we used to have some architecture, because that is the basic architecture designed to perform which block will do whatever the things assigned to us, assigned to that particular block. So like that, the similar way for IoT also, we used to have some reference model, that is nothing but the like architecture, that is a protocol how it will function. The next thing is IoT in industrial robotics. Nowadays, IoT plays a very major role all over the world. So, how the industrial robotics can be integrated with the IoT, and how they will perform very well compared with the human intelligence. And the next thing is IoT tool, that is nothing but a Tinkercad tool. So, this is an open source software tool, and we can do some simulation experiments, that is a hands-on we will do at the end of the session. So first thing, Internet of Things. The name itself, every day we started to use the internet. What the internet will rule over the world, because internet will provide all the we are connected with the world through the internet. Because in the previous years of more than 10 years back or 15 years back, we don't use much of internet, because we don't have any awareness, or else we are not adopting to the technologies. But nowadays, every day, from the morning when we wake up, we started to switch on the data connections, and we started to use social media and WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, and everything we started to use. But and we are connected with the people with around the world. So internet plays a very major role, and things how the things are getting connected with the internet, because whenever we are moving out of the home, we can able to monitor, and we can switch on the light, off the light, and everything we can connect, we can control all the devices through the smartphone itself, how it is happening. So if you are combining the Internet of Things, that is things, car, and whatever the laptop, mobile, tablet, and everything are connected with the internet. So IoT, it is nothing but we are connecting n number of devices and are all over the world, and we are sharing the information, because wherever we go, and we can easily able to monitor the information, and also we can share the information with anyone also. So this is a very important emerging technologies now, and because it rules over the world. And how Internet of People and Things, because we peoples are connected with many things, because whenever we are, if we are a patient and we don't want to admit in the hospital, but we want to do the healthcare and health medical checkup in the remote location itself, from our home location itself, means we started to we can be easily monitored through sensors. So but the sensor information will be conveyed through the mobile, or else the doctor will monitor the patient health condition from his hospital itself. He can able to monitor, and he can be able to give the appropriate treatment and everything. So we people are connected with the smart things, that is a smart things is nothing but that is whatever the information which are sensed from the human beings, it can be easily transferred. So we can easily able to retrieve the information in the opposite side, and they can do operations according to that. So in earlier days of 2010, 10 years back, we people only use one mainly for sharing of information through Gmail, or else the IT people, that is of software working people, will started to share the informations like that. People's only in the previous 10 years back, they started using, but now all the things are connected with the internet. So we peoples are connected with the thing, and the things are connected with the things. So this is the Internet of People and Things, and this is the technology roadmap, because how the internet has started growing, and how it have achieved in 2020 at the peak rate that is of emerging technology, because key research areas is nothing but IoT, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning. So robotics, these areas are very emerging areas, and most of the research are going by the integrations of two domains. For example, how we are visualizing data science, that is of how we are visualizing the data, how we are integrating the IoT with the medical applications, or also how we are integrating the IoT in industrial applications. So if you are integrating the two domains, so it was a collaborative work. So the IoT plays a very important role of collaborating with many domains, and they have achieved a lot of results also. But how the Internet of Things have origined in during 1960s, only we framed the network, that is nothing but the communication between uh, the communication occurs only between the host, that is nothing but the nearby systems to systems only it can started to transmit the information. But in later 1990s, the internet has started evolved. We started to we started transferring the information within the host and the web. So the internet of things has started evolving after 2015 to 2020 period only. So now it becomes a very key
Ma'am, ma'am, your voice is not audible, ma'am. Ma'am, ma'am, can you hear me?
So how the IoT, that is of internet, has started evolving after 1990s only. So it started to transfer the information between the host and the web, and the mobile internet has started evolving after 2000 only. That is, we are connected with the host system and also the web system and also the mobile. We started connecting after the 2000 years of only. We started to use the internet. Then later on years of 2010 and 15, we started to connect the mobile with the people and also with the personal computer and started to connect. Then after 2020, in the period of 2015 to 20, we started using the emerging technologies of IoT, because wherever we go and we can able to monitor through the GPS car where the car is going on. So like that we used to able to, and also whatever the things happening in home, everything we can easily monitor at any location all over the world. So the Internet of Things has started evolving after 2015 to 20 period only. So now it becomes a very key important and emerging areas, and we can integrate these IoT with various domains also, for medical applications, industrial, and many applications we can use for integrating the IoT. And for example, if you are assigning the address, because each and every systems have to assign IP address. So is it possible to assign address to all the devices in the world? Because for this device, for mobile, we have to assign one IP address. Then for laptop, for desktop, and everything, we have to assign each addresses when we are accessing the internet. Whether it is possible to assign address to all the devices all over the world. Yes, it is possible. How it is possible means, if you are using the IPv6 address, we can easily able to address all the devices in the world. And this is the architecture of IoT, how the IoT devices functions. For example, the IoT devices, it will sense the informations and it will transmit the information to the gateway. So what the gateway will do, what happens between the sensors to the gateway. So this is act like a communication protocol. The sensed information will be transferred to the gateway. So the gateway will transmit all the informations to the internet modem. So what the gateway will perform means it will act as a communication protocol. Communication protocol is nothing but we started to how we are getting the information. Either we are getting the information through Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or Zigbee. So what are the technique we use to obtain the information from the sensors to the modem? So the gateway will helps us to perform for achieving the information, and the information from the internet modem too. So modem will perform that modulation and demodulation. So it will store all the informations in the internet cloud. So from the cloud, the persons can easily able to access the information. For example, the continuous month the patient health has been monitored means, so it can be stored in the internet cloud. So whenever the doctor wants to make the checkup for that particular patient from his hospital itself means he can able to retrieve the information before the 1 month information from the cloud, and the last week information, daily information, like that he can easily able to access the information. So the IoT application server, it is acts like the user, that is nothing but whoever wants to use the information from the cloud, they can easily able to access. And this is the architecture explanations, that is mainly IoT is used to monitor and control the things. The second thing, the sensors will sense the information and it will transmit the information to the modem, and the Wi-Fi router, that is nothing but a gateway, will access a communication protocol. So Wi-Fi router mostly commonly used, and the application server will collect the information from the cloud, and it will perform according to the operations. So we are using that Internet of Things, but we don't have any issues like that. We can't say, because we are having a number of challenges. What are the challenges we are facing in IoT means? First thing, network challenges, because it has to be very scalable. That is nothing but it should be reliable, and the transmission should be secure. So everything we have to monitor, and the diversity, whether it was globally distributed, so like that, whether it has a low power consumption. So like that, we are facing n number of challenges in the network challenges. And what are the software development challenges we are facing? Because we are having four types of challenges, that is our network challenges, software challenges, security challenges, and also the new complex dependencies. So network challenges is nothing but I have already told the software development challenges, because we are having n number of huge data. That is a huge amount of data. So that is a big data. So big data is nothing but big data analytics, also one of the key emerging area. So here, how much amount of information we are storing in the cloud, how we are accessing, whether it was secure, whether it can able to hold all the huge amount of data in that particular server or else a particular cloud. Is it possible? So like that, we have n number of software behaviors, and the security challenges is nothing but we are facing n number of unsecure devices. For example, nowadays you can able to see the Facebook is attacked with the hackers. That is a phishing attack. So they are trying to hack the password from us, and they started to use by asking, and they are making the attack phishing attack. So whenever we are using the banking transactions also, we are paid because the private apps, that is nothing but a Paytm, Google Pay. So these has been evolved only 2 3 years. For the current 2 3 years only, these apps have been enabled. Before that, we used to do only the network banking. So net banking only we started to use in the before earlier days, but nowadays only we are having the n number of apps like Google apps, that is a Google Pay, Paytm, and we are having n number of uh, n number of apps we are having. So whenever we are transferring the huge amount in these apps, and if we lost means we cannot ask, or else we cannot query any of them, because the attackers may have the amount. So we cannot file any case, because these apps are not secured, because these are all not government preferred apps. So do we have to do very secure, and this is one of the security challenges we are facing in everyday life. And IoT platforms. What are the platforms? Because IoT platforms is nothing but which platform will offer this kind of services. That is nothing but we are communicating the device and also with the applications. So those who are offering the IoT platforms, that is nothing but we are storing all the information in the cloud only. So who is providing the cloud services? That is nothing but Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud Platform, IBM Platform. So இதெல்லாமே வந்து so these things are cloud services provided by the IoT. So the next thing is IoT features. So IoT features is nothing but what are the characteristics or also what are the significant qualities that IoT is having. So first thing, connectivity, because it will provide the proper connections. And the second thing is human intelligence. So how the human intelligence has been converted with the machine. So the next thing, energy, whether it was a safety and it will sense the information, and whether it was maintaining the balancing, that is nothing but the balancing is nothing but the human and also the user applications oriented has to be balanced. And the next thing is dynamic nature, whether it was comfortable to use it everywhere. So the next thing is IoT enabling technologies. So what are the enabling technologies we are having means because these are the enabling technologies plays a major role in IoT. First thing, communication. Second thing, cloud computing. Third one, wireless sensor network. Fourth one, embedded system. Fifth one, edge devices. Sixth one, sensors. Seventh one is communication. So sensors, what the sensors will do, and what are the sensors means? For example, if the sensors will sense the real-time informations like temperature, pressure, because in the COVID period, we used to have, whenever we are entering into the gate, we used to have the temperature monitor. That is nothing but whether our temperature or else health condition is, they used to check the temperature of each and every person in the security gate itself. So why they are checking? Because day by day, we are having and we are facing our, because we are in a COVID period, so we are applying the information because the sensors will observe the information from the human being. So it will shows the information and whether the temperature is below like this, so it will be normal. So if it is of above, so the health condition is not good. So they had to go for hospital like that. We used to sense the information. The next thing, what are the sensors we will be having means that is a humidity sensor. We can able to use a temperature sensor or else the infrared sensors and smoke sensors. For example, if you are ready to monitor the information, if fire occurs inside our home, so if the smoke is coming, so but it has to give an alert before when the smoke is coming. So whenever the fire occurs, we used to have the smoke, that is a smoke alert system, that is smoke sensors we have to use, and it will convey the informations to us. And also the color sensors and touch sensors, ultrasonic sensors, so many sensors are available. And if we can use the water sensor also, for example, if we are monitoring the water level, the syntax tank level, whatever we are using in a day-to-day life, we are having the syntax tank in our home. If we are placing the water sensor, and we can fix the water level also, like if it is of below threshold value, so it has to water automatically, the motor has to be on. And if it is of above the threshold value, if the water, we used to monitor the information like we have to put the we have to switch on and switch off the for 5-15 minutes or else 20 minutes, like that we used to do, otherwise the water will overflow. So for to avoid the overflow conditions and to avoid the below water level conditions also, so we can fix the threshold level like if it is exceeds this particular threshold level, so it has to be automatically off. And if it is of below threshold value, it has to be, the motor has to be automatically on. So like that we can have n number of sensors in real time applications, and it will convert all the informations according it may be of the physical signal or else electrical. So it is used to, but it is used to convert what are the signals which is acquiring according to their needs. We can able to convert the informations. The next thing is sensor classes. We are having two types of classes, that is nothing but based on output and based on data type. So first thing is based on output. So we are having the analog sensor or else the digital sensors. Then based on data type is nothing but we used to have the scalar sensor and the multimedia sensors. So the next thing is analog sensor. So analog sensor will produce a continuous output signals. We used to have in the signals in terms of sine waves or else the square waves. But if you are wish to monitor the physical quantities like temperature, and if you want to measure the pressure, or else if you want to measure the displacement, so the analog quantities will be of continuous in nature. So the next thing was digital sensors. So digital sensor, as we all know, the digital, the name itself, either 0 or 1. So 0 for off conditions and 1 for on conditions. So digital sensors also we started to use for the real-time applications, and the scalar sensors. So scalar sensors will monitor only the magnitude, whatever the quantity we are using. So we can able to monitor the quantity alone. We can able to monitor, and here also the temperature, color, pressure, strain, quantities has been measured in the scalar sensor. The next thing is vector sensors. So vector sensors mainly used to monitor the magnitude and the direction. But in the scalar, only we can able to monitor the magnitude. But here we can able to monitor both the magnitude and direction as well as the orientation. What is the orientation? Because orientation is nothing but in which axis it falls. For example, x, y, z axis. Usually we used to have the x axis and y axis. But if you are considering the coordinate axis, we used to have x, y, z axis. So the next thing is edge devices. So what the edge devices offers? So why the edge devices are getting connected? It is nothing but edge devices will act as the entry point. Entry point is nothing but whatever the information which is directly getting from the particular things, we are just sending the informations to the through the internet through the LAN connection. For example, if you are using the LAN connection in the on computer lab, if you are using means, so first it will send the information and it will be sent to the computer. Then the computer will transmit the information through the internet to the user. So it will be happens due to the routers and switching, then multiplexers. The next thing is embedded system. How the IoT has been incorporated in embedded system. So in olden days, we used to have the microprocessor and microcontroller only. We started to use, and before 10 years back, the embedded system has one of the major key research area. But nowadays, the IoT plays a very major role in the world. And the first thing, microcontroller. Here also we can employ the microcontroller to control the activities, to control the task, or else the operations of any equipment. The next thing is a memory. Memory is nothing but RAM, ROM, hash memory. And we used to have in embedded applications also, we used to have the RAM memory, ROM memory, and hash memory also. So the next thing is organizing units. How all the units have been organized. Organized means what are all the inbuilt capabilities they are having. That is nothing but we used to have Wi-Fi connectors or also Ethernet connections. So Ethernet connections is nothing but the LAN connections, whatever we are having in the lab, and Wi-Fi connections. We used to have access of making the hotspot on in our mobile also, and we started to use and sharing of a net, and also in the Wi-Fi, college Wi-Fi we are utilizing. So these are all some organizing units because we wish to get the information from the system. So we have to access all this information, and also we used to have whenever the communication happens. So first thing we used to have the input, the last thing we used to have the output. So this is the basic units of embedded system. Mainly the embedded systems will functions in the real-time operating systems. And the next thing is communication. How the communication happens means either we can transmit the information through the Bluetooth or else a WiMAX or else a Zigbee or else RFID. But there is a similar characteristics of Zigbee and the Bluetooth. So the Zigbee and the Bluetooth have how it is happening means so Bluetooth will have So Bluetooth will have the short range of communications, and the Zigbee also have the short range of communications. But we don't prefer the Zigbee, but we used to prefer the Bluetooth. Why we are the preferring Bluetooth and why we are not preferring the Zigbee means it will support only the low power applications. But in the Bluetooth also support only low power, but it can transmit up to 100 meters. But Zigbee supports up to only 10 meters only. So the next thing is wireless sensor network. So wireless sensor network, how the sensors will sense the information, and whatever the nodes will, because we are in actually, if whatever in Tamil movie, there is one movie that is Tupaki. So in that movie, we used to place the sensors in the human, that is of in the character role played by the Vijay. So they fix the sensors, and wherever he is moving, so we can easily able to monitor the information because he placed the sensor chips on his hand, and we can easily able to view the information because the sensor information, the sensed information, first it will send to the sync node, because sync node only will collect all the information. Then the sync node will transfer the information to the internet, and through the internet access we can easily able to retrieve the information, that is the user. We the people are user, we will get receive the information through the internet connection only, we can receive the information. But where all the received information will be stored means we used to have the sync node, so it will transmit the information to the sync node, and the sync will transmit the information through the internet to the user. So how the wireless sensor network has been used in agricultural applications means, for example, if you agricultural field is nothing but if you are if you wish to monitor the crop condition, so it will sense the information, and it will send all the information to the sync node, and through the GSM we can retrieve the information through the cell phone, and we can easily able to track the peoples also in nowadays where they are going, because if we lost our phone also, and we are giving the EMI sorry IME number to that complaint, and they can easily track through the IME number. So likewise, the agricultural health condition of the crop, because if you are planting some seeds, and if you want to monitor whether it was growing or else how the growth conditions of the crop and at all we want to monitor means, so first thing it will gather the information through the sensor nodes, and it will transmit all the information to the sync node. Then it will be transferred to the GSM. Then through the GSM applications, we can easily able to retrieve the information through the cell phone, and also the information can be communicated to the farmer's house also. So the next thing is wireless sensor network in forest fire detection. So forest fire detection is nothing but uh, because we are having a huge amount of forest in our country. So if you are placing the sensor nodes in the ground, so it can easily monitor the information, and if it transmit, because if some fire happens due to the summer season, due to very hot condition, sometimes the fire may occur due to the that two trees or else under the heavy hot condition, so the forest may fire. So the forest fires indication has to be alert to the forest firefighting device, firefighting services, and also to the forest fire officers also the information has to be conveyed. So how the information, because we people cannot monitor all the whole forest if it happens, so it has to be sent as an alert. So how the information has been sent as an alert means, the first thing, the sensor will sense the information, and it will as usual it will send the information to the sync node. So the sync node will transmit the information to the server, that is a IoT application server, so through the internet. So then it will gives an alert to the firefighting devices also, and also the forest fire officers also, because they will do appropriate actions to avoid the forest fires. And the next thing, cloud computing. So cloud computing, mainly cloud. So daily we are using the Gmail for sharing the information, and we are storing a huge amount of data in our Gmail services also, because we are having up to 15 GB of data. We can able to store in our Gmail. After that, if we are going beyond the limit, then we need some cloud storage. So we have to buy some cloud storage after that. And if it is of a 14.8 or 14.9 out of 5 GB, there will be some notifications in your Gmail. So your cloud is full, so you have to buy the storage. Like that, it will send some notifications to us. So the same, what are the cloud services offering means IBM Cloud, then Google Cloud, Amazon Web Services, and Microsoft Office, Microsoft Azure. So these are some cloud services which are offering to us, uh, and they are providing for the paying basis only. They are providing this cloud, and Google is providing up to 15 GB. That is, Gmail storage is up to 15 GB is free. After that, if we want to use the cloud, means we have to choose the Google Cloud. We have to purchase the cloud storage if we want to go beyond that limit. So through the cloud computing services, what are the things we are using? Means first thing, email we can use, and also we can store and backup the data, and we can back up the data, and we can retrieve the data, and we can create or we can testing the apps, and also we can able to analyze the data also, and we can deliver the softwares on demand basis. On demand basis is nothing but according to the user needs, we can easily able to place. The next thing is sensor interface. So sensor interface, what are the sensors we are using? That is ultrasonic sensors, gas sensor, color sensor, PIR sensor, accelerometer, potentiometer, IR sensor, infrared sensors, flexible sensors, LDR, thermistor, rain sensors to monitor the rain conditions, and IR transmitter, photodiode, and a temperature sensor, microphone, hall sensor. These I have put only the few sensors because n number of sensors are available, but I have shown only the few sensors for reference, and we will see the hands-on session, how the sensors will function, and how the operations will be going. Like that I can show. So light sensors. So the name itself, light sensors. What in the previous days of, for example, if you're considering the 15 years back, we used to have every street. We used to have the street pole light pole. We are having on the street. Every street we used to have the light pole. But in the 15 years back, we used to have one. We used to assign one person to switch on the light in the evening, and also to switch off the light in the morning. In every street there will be, every street or else the one particular area, one person will be assigned to monitor and to switch on the light and switch off the light. Like that they have been assigned. But in nowadays, there is no need of human being employment, because it will, whenever the sunlight gets dim in the evening, so it will be automatically, lights will be automatically on. So whenever the sunlight gets brighten in the morning, so the street light will be getting automatically off. So how it happens means, whenever the sunlight falls into the LDR sensor, so it will sense the information. So then it will start to function their operations. That is of, when it is of dim, so the light has to be on. When it is of bright, when the sunlight is of bright, so it has to be automatically off. So these kind of applications we are employing these light sensors. And the proximity sensor. So in the proximity sensors, we used to detect when some person is entering. For example, if you're looking these proximity sensors in real-time applications of shopping malls, whenever we are entering near to the gate, so it will be automatically open. The door will be automatically open. So whenever leaving out of the door has to be automatically closed. So this kind of application has a real-time application we can see in the shopping mall also. So how it function, because we don't know why it is automatically open and why it is automatically closed, we don't know.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, could you hear me, ma'am? Ma'am?
Hello, sir. Sir, can you able to hear me?
Now it's okay, ma'am. Now it's fine.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So in proximity sensors, we can easily able to sense that is of it will sense the human being is entering into the gate, so it will be automatically open. So whenever the person is leaving, the door has to be automatically closed. So what the sensors we are placing near to the door means proximity sensors we are placing for that application. Then how the proximity sensors are applying in the real-time robotics means because the proximity sensors will use to sense the information, whatever the objects near to it, so it will sense and it will perform the task, whatever we are assigning. And temperature sensor, in COVID period, we used to have everyday checkup of temperature, and it measures the temperature of the environment, and also it will help to record the information, and we can monitor, and we can do treatments according to that also. And mainly temperature sensors are used in automobile application and also medical devices, computers, and cooking appliances. For example, cooking appliances, we are setting the temperature if you are baking the cake or else anything in the microwave oven. We used to fix the temperature and everything. And also for the medical devices applications also, we are monitoring the health conditions of the patient. If the patient is from in some other location, but we want to monitor, and we can measure the temperature, pressure, and everything. For that applications, we are using this temperature sensor and PIR sensor. So PIR sensor, mainly it is a infrared sensors. It's mainly used to give for the security alarms. And also automatic lighting applications. For example, the light has to be on and off. If the operation has to be performed in our home, so we can fix this PIR sensor. And also we can use this PIR sensor in security alarms also. Security alarms is nothing but when some unknown person is entering into our home, so it will because it will sense the information because of whoever the persons, the family members has been already scanned. So if someone is entering, so it will allow. If unknown person is entering, so it will give some security alarms. So we will be very alert. So for these kind of applications, we are using the PIR sensor and also the ultrasonic sensor. So ultrasonic sensor used to measure the distance of target objects. So target object, for example, the mainly it can be used for the measuring the distance. For measuring the distance applications, we started to use the ultrasonic sensor, and we used to have the components like transmitter and receiver. So it will be the major components of the ultrasonic sensor. And the next thing is IoT reference model. So this is a reference model is nothing but architecture. So architecture is how initially, for example, whenever we are having communication in the networks, we used to have physical layer, data link layer, network layer, uh, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, application like layer, like that. We used to have 7 layers for making the communication. So like that, for IoT reference model also, we used to have 7 layers. So for that, 7 layers is nothing but here it is different. So first thing is physical devices. Physical devices is nothing but we are getting the information physically from the sensors. Then we are making the connectivity between the edge devices, and we are transforming the information through the edge computing. That is a data analytics, and also we are transferring the information and a data accumulation. So data accumulation is mainly used for storing of data, and data from the data accumulation, the data abstraction, because it will aggregate and it will access according to their need, because whatever the sensed information, all the information has not been used. What we need we can easily acquire, and for that information alone we can take it for our need. So the next thing is application. So for application, we used to have for real-time applications where we are going to implement this. And the next thing is collaboration and process. So in this layer only, we people will involve, and we will start to do business, and also for also for IoT applications. So for that collaboration area of two different domains also we can apply in this seventh layer only. So physical devices, so here you used to have the some silicon chip, and also we used to place the sensors, and it will sense the information and it will make the communications. And the level 2 will provide three types of communications. First thing, device to device. For example, when the system is communicated with another system, that is of device to device communication. And when the device is communicated with the cloud, if we want to access the cloud services, what are the information we are using the cloud services. And also you can able to see whenever we are using the Gmail account and we are sending the information of 1 GB of data from 1 GB of file from one person to another person. So it will have it used to say, because only 25 MB of data is allowed without sharing options. So after that, if you're going means, if someone is clicking the link to access the information, so we have to give the authorization to access the information, because those informations are stored in the cloud only. So we have to give the authorization. So the next thing is device to gateway protocol. So gateway protocol is nothing but a Wi-Fi we are using, or else Bluetooth, or else RFID. So how the devices are conveying the informations to which gateway protocol. So this is the connectivity. And the edge computing. So edge computing, here we are making the huge amount of data, and we are transforming the informations from the edge layer to the data accumulation. Here the query based data is converted to the event based. So what is that, what is the query based and what the event based means? For example, we will collect all the information, but according to the what operation has to be performed has been decided only in this data accumulation layer only. So data abstraction, so here the query based data has been converted into the user applications data. So that information has been carried out in the data abstraction and application layer. So here, according to the needs and which information has to be monitored, and we can able to convey, and we can able to control also in this application layer. And here the collaboration and process. Here we used to have seven focuses, that is of people and processes, because we people has been connected in the collaboration, that is we can apply into different fields, or if we want to make any collaborative research also in this by using this seventh layer only, we can able to communicate with the IoT layer. And the next thing, application of IoT. So where we are using this IoT applications means, first thing, healthcare applications we are using. Second one, smart city applications, and also for example, smart retail. That is whatever the food we are in need, so we can easily able to order through Swiggy or KFC, and everything we are doing in the smart retail only. For also grocery things also we started to purchase. So these smart retail services are providing, because they are giving the delivery options at home itself. They are providing the delivery, how they are accessing the information, because these are daily we are using, but we don't know how they come to know our address, and how they will give it, whatever the food we are ordering, they are entering into our home. They are delivering in our home. So these applications are because of the IoT only. And how the smart industry plays, and smart agriculture, because in the olden days agriculture has been monitored only the human being only. And nowadays the water has to be, if the water has to be flown to the to one particular area, means it has to be automatically for half an hour this field has to be, water has to be flow, and the next half an hour this field has to be flow, means so they can fix the time, and also they can fix the water in which way they have to go, like that. Everything has to be under smart agriculture, they can do in the smart agriculture also. And how we are managing the energy, because we are placing the sensor nodes. So we used to have the battery life, very low battery life, so that has to be managed. And also for automotive applications, if you are we can easily able to track the vehicles wherever it is going. For example, if the car is going and if it is getting an accident, so for that also we can easily able to access the information, because we are placing the sensors, and it will give sense and alert to the hospital, and also the ambulance, and also to the home people. those who are family members of that particular. So like that informations we can easily able to monitor. And also the main thing is building and home automations. So home appliances can be easily monitored and we can access the information. And this is the global distributions of IoT projects. So IoT projects where because different countries are having IoT projects, and how they are making use of this as happening in the global distribution. And how the agricultural environment has been used means here we are using the greenhouse technology for agricultural environment. And here this is the working structure of IoT system. So because the sensors and actuators will acquire the information, but through the cloud the gateway is communicated to the mobile device, and it can be displayed uh, according to the user needs. So this is the working system. And for example, if you are using the IoT system in home automation, that is for example, if you are using the smart lighting applications or else the smart appliances, if I want to make the window sensor, window has to be automatically open in the evening of 5 o'clock, and it has to be automatically closed in the evening of 6 o'clock. Like that I can fix. And also I can make the security and smoke. If we are used to have the kitchen, so sometimes the fire may occurs, but without knowingly, so the smoke has to be detected and we have to monitor. And the door sensor, whenever we are entering into the home, so the door has to be automatically closed, automatically open, so automatically closed, so everything has to be performed. And door locker, whenever we are leaving, so we want to lock the door, so everything we can. Water sensor, that is for a syntax tank, so we used to place the water sensor. If it is of above level, so the water has to be, that motor has to be automatically on, and sorry, automatically off. And if the water level is below the threshold value, so the motor has to be automatically on. So like that we can place n number of sensors for real-time applications, and also in the home applications mainly. And this is the smart lighting system. So automatically after 6 o'clock it has to be on, and it has to be off in the night 10 o'clock. Like that we can fix in the smart lighting applications. And also the smart appliances, that is if we are going for a trip for a 1 week, but we forget to switch off, whether we have switch on the light or off the light, we don't know, we forget, means we can easily able to access to make all the devices under our control, to switch off the devices, that is of AC or else fridge and everything, TV, fan, lights, everything we can easily able to control. If even if we are not at home, we are moving in some other place, we can easily able to control through the smartphone. Smartphone itself, we can make the smart appliances under our control. So this is IoT in Industry 4.0. So Industry 4.0 is also one of the key research area. So how the industrial revolution happens, and Industry 4.0 is nothing but this is fourth industrial revolution. So how it occurs and what are the technologies have developed, and why the Industry 4.0 has arisen means because the humans are replaced by machines. So that's why the Industry 4.0 has arisen. And initial period we used to have only Industry 1.0 in the area in olden days of 1980s, or else 19 before 1980s we used to have only the industrial revolutions with the steam and water power applications only we started to use. And Industry 2.0, the electrical power lines are connected with the mass productions. For mass productions applications we started to use the Industry 2.0. And Industry 3.0, the robotics have evolved, and automated productions and computers and everything has started evolving. And Industry 4.0, that is a smart factory, autonomous system, IoT, machine learning. These key research areas are going. So this is the Industry 4.0. For example, if the machine, if we are working in a factory, but sometimes the human may get injuries due to, they may unknowingly they will put the hand, or else they may get injuries. So those kind of injuries can be avoided. And also if they are working in a critical machine to recover, so sometimes they may have some accidents also. That is in the factory itself they used to have some accidents, that is of a machine oriented accidents. So it can be easily recovered only through the smart factory. Now the because we whatever the peoples we are doing, the robots will started to do. So they are trained with some specific task. So due to the benefits of that industry 4.0, we used to have the productivity in a higher range, and also we used to have the knowledge sharing, and also we can able to collaborate the work, and we are having better customer experience, and the efficiency is improved, and also we can reduce the cost. So what are the technologies we are integrating? Means cloud computing, mobile technologies. We are making the communications with machine to machine, and also 3D printing. The next thing, advanced robotics. We can store the huge amount of data, that is a big data analytics, and the IoT, RFID technologies, and the cognitive computing, cyber security. So these all are the evaluations of Industry 4.0. So how the IoT in industrial automations. For example, if you are employing instead of employing the human being, so we are employing the robot to serve whatever the operations performed as like humans. So in industrial automation, you can, for example, I will say one thing. In COVID period, not in our country, it is a foreign country. So due to the lagging of in the COVID period, due to the lag of uh, doctors and clinicians for making the treatment for COVID cases. For COVID cases, they employed a robot to serve for giving the medicines, and for making them comfortable like that. In the foreign country, they have employed recently, I think approximately 5 months back, they have put in the news also. So robots are employed to give the clinicians medicines and everything to the patient, because due to the lagging of doctors and clinicians available in that particular country. IoT in industrial robotics. So how we are using the IoT in industries? This is a similar example. As like what the humans will perform, the same thing has been performed by the robot also, because they can, for example, if you're considering the biscuit manufacturing company, so the things has been packed, and the things has been packed, and it has to be processed to the next step. But in the early days of 20 years or 25 years back, the human has been employed for packing. One person will do, for putting the biscuits in the cover, one person will do, and the cover has to become. But nowadays, everything is machine oriented, so everything will perform automatically. With the help of robots itself, we can able to do all the things. So this is a revolution of Industry 4.0, and this becomes a very successful also in industry, and it will provide accuracy, precision, and very high speed also. So here the human employed. So for if you are employing the humans in that one particular field to work in the industry, we used to have the human sensitivity, and also we used to have the flexible materials we need, and multiple operators we have to employ, because one person cannot do all the functions. So we have to employ some operators to perform. And if we are employing the robots, means we used to have the precision and repeatability and cycle time alone itself enough to make them comfortable to work. So robots are mostly preferred. And industrial robotics, now we are using the 5G network, and in the future years the 5G networks will evolve. So industrial robots, we can avoid the injuries also. So how we are using it in the maritime industry? For example, if the ship is going, and if it is going in a wrong way, it has to be directed uh, through because the information has been sensed. Because in the ship we don't have any internet connection, so through radio only they can able to communicate. They are going in the wrong way, so they have to make the right directions. So like that, we can able to make the communications in the maritime industries. So what are the services? Means first we can able to make the vessel tracking, then we can able to make the emission control, then predictive maintenance and supply chain visibility, safety and welfare also. These are some services offered in the maritime industry. And what is the need for maritime industries? Means we can reduce the fuel consumption, and maintenance and repair, live navigations. We can offer safer transportation also, and automatic settlement. And you can what are the, if they are going in a wrong way, actually the fuel gets wasted in the ship. So that has to be communicated, and they can work according to the directions, because the information has been sensed and it has to be transferred to the base station. Then that is nothing but the officers, those are monitored, because the coastal office used to monitor where the ship is going, and whether it was going in a right direction. So the chief engineer will work according to that. So for safer transportation of temperature, humidity, and everything, altitude, whether it is of any dryness or wetness, everything can be easily tracked. And this is some of the IoT startups. That is IO Currents, Green Sea God, Aguri, Pasil, and ZBRS Wellness. So these are some startups available for the IoT. And the next thing we can see the IoT tools, Tinkercad tool is an open source software tool only. So we can do simultaneously of the hands-on experiments. So first thing, LED blinking, we can see, then automatic LED on off, then we can go for the sensor interface. So how the temperature sensor, how the door sensor has started functioning, like that, we can work on it. And this is Arduino board. So I think we belongs to EC and electronics and information communication. So we are aware of Arduino board, but I will say what are the things it will be doing. So this is for mainly of a reset button, and this is mainly we are using for the digital input. So whenever we wish to give the input, so we can use these pins. That is of this pins from digital pin, and this is for transmitting, and this is for receiving. From 2 to 13 we can use for the digital input and output pins, and this is A0 to A5, this is of analog input pins. And here we can make use of the power supplies, or else ground connections we can easily able to give. And the thing is Tinkercad software. So Tinkercad, I will show. So analog read and write, digital read, digital write. These are some syntax. I will tell you. So this is basic components. I will show you. And this is of a sensor interface. I will tell you the voltage divider rule, because we are having the two resistance and we are connected with the voltage, and we want to make the measure the output voltage V naught equal to R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into whatever the input voltage we are giving, there is a Vs. So suppose we are giving the 1 kilo ohm for the resistance R1 and R2 also as 1 kilo ohm, but we are giving the source voltage as 3 volts. What is the output voltage we are getting means 1.5 volt. So, but the Arduino understandable format is of 10 bit, that is a 2 power 10, so it is of 0 to 1023. Whatever the numbers, we are acquiring the voltage as 1.5 volt. But the machine understandable format is, because the Arduino will understandable format is 0 for 0 volt, and 2.5 volt means the reading value will be of 512, and if it is of 5 volt means the value will be of 1023. So this is temperature sensor. And mainly for IoT projects for beginners, they can go for the air pollution monitoring, and also IoT based alarm clock they can go for it, and traffic management systems also, and a robot using Arduino, and smart street lights, smart wheelchairs. These projects are basic for beginners. So I will show you the Tinkercad software. So you can type TINKERCAD, Tinkercad. So 1 second. And you can type TINKERCAD. I think. Can type Tinkercad. So you can get www.tinkercad.com. That is a Tinkercad. If you're typing means you will be able to get this. This is an open source software only, so everybody can access it. And you just click on it. So you will be able to see in this page, and you can just click on sign in. And if you are having the Gmail account, and you can just give the sign in with Google, then you can able to see your ID. So I'm just using. So in this, you can in the left side, you will be able to see the 3D designs, circuits, and everything. So I'm just clicking on the circuits. So I'm giving create new circuit. I'm already having account, so that's why it is easily able to log in. Otherwise, if you are new to the user, so you just click on, and you can, for example, once again, you can give the sign up option. If you are new to the user, and you can give the sign up option. So if you are new, and you can give the option as a sign up, and you can log in. So I'm having account, so I'm using. And in this, you can give the create new circuits. So for that, just I'm showing, this is all the basic components. What are the components we are having? That is the basic components: resistor, capacitor, battery, LED, and you can able to see the breadboard, Arduino board, vibration motor, and servo motors, and everything we are having: ultrasonic sensor, piezoelectric temperature sensor, multimeter, and everything we are having here. And for advanced components, or else if you want to see all the components, and you can able to see all the components, we can click it here, and we can easily able to access. And now I'm using one battery. So you can see here, I'm just dragging and dropping the battery. Then I wish to glow my LED. So I'm placing the LED component. So I'm clicking just basic components, because it is very easy. It is very convenient to us. So I'm dragging the LED and placing here. So, and I wish to change the color of the LED. So I'm just clicking on the LED to green color. So I'm setting LED to green color. So usually we used to have the cathode part is for negative symbol, and anode part is for positive. So the positive symbol is connected with the battery of the positive, and the negative symbol is connected with the battery negative symbol. Suppose I wish to change the color. For the negative, I wish to give black, and for the positive, I wish to give, I'm just selecting, and I'm changing the color as red. So I'm giving here start simulation. You can see there is one notification. what the notification is here? I'm placing here because you can able to see the LED is blinking with one star symbol, right? So you can see here LED is blinking with one star symbol. What it shows? The current through the LED is 915 milliamps, while absolute maximum is 20 milliamps. So it can support only
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. You're not audible, ma'am. 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 Ma'am, you're not audible, ma'am. I think network issues, I hope. Ma'am, could you hear me? Ma'am, please.
Sir, in this, you can able to see the notification of blinking. That is, whenever I'm placing here, the current through the LED is 915 milliamps, while the absolute maximum, because the LED can support up to the 20 milliamps here, but I'm using 9-volt battery, so I'm getting the current supply of 915 milliamps. So that's why it's so, because the LED may burst and damage. So I wish to, if we wish to avoid the current flow, so we used to have the resistor, because the basic concept of resistor is to resist the flow of current. So I'm just placing here. If I wish to change the kilo ohm or else a micro or else nano ohms, so I can adjust according to need. So I'm just using 1 kilo ohm resistance here, but I wish to place this. I wish to connect my anode with the resistor. Then I'm connecting with the LED. Then I'm just changing the color. Changing the color is depends upon our need. It is not mandatory. So I'm giving start simulation. Now you can see the LED light is glowing. So why it is glowing? Before the simulation, before running that component, I was getting the that notification of, because the high voltage is supplying. But now I don't get any notifications because I am resisting the flow of current through the resistor. So I'm getting, my LED is getting blinking. So I'm just giving the stop simulation. So if I wish to save the experiment, so I'm just clicking on here. I'm just renaming. I'm renaming as 1. You can give any name and you can give the save. And this automatically it will be saved. If you are editing the name itself, it can be saved here. And if I wish to see the components, what are the components I'm using here? So I can give here. So I have used one 9-volt battery and one green LED and one 1 kilo ohm informations.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am.
Sir?
Ma'am, Dr. Piyush sir has
Yes, sir.
posted a query
Yes,
in
sir.
chat box. May I download this software free?
Yes, sir. It is open access only. Just we can Google it and we can use it, sir. If you are having the internet connection alone itself enough. No need to download the software and also.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay,
If
sir.
you have some more links, please provide, ma'am.
Yes,
So
sir.
that query Dr. Piyush sir has posted.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Let me look into it, sir.
Please continue, ma'am.
Sir, you can just type the software name as Tinkercad, Tinkercad, sir. So just if you're typing itself enough in the Google, and you can able to get into the login page, that is of the sign up page, and in that sign up page, you can able to see that is of you can give the mail ID and your name and everything you can give, and you can getting login into it. Then you can go for the login options. Otherwise, if you're using already, means you can use the login options. Then you can give that, and you can easily log in through the Gmail also, sir. Sir, sir, is it understandable?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. But we have a query in
Yes,
chat
sir.
book
You
from
can do the
Vinay, sir.
projects. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can, yes, sir. You can do the. We can do many projects for this software, sir. For example, if we don't need to purchase any Arduino board, because it will be around the cost of 450 or 500 rupees, but we don't need to purchase. We can simulate a few of the experiments through this software itself, sir. So shall we move on to the next experiment,
Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
sir?
Sure, ma'am. We can move on, ma'am.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, because I have already, due to the we are running out of time, so I'm just giving that alternate blinking of LED. You can see here, I'm just dragging or dropping, because if you are typing here Arduino, or else if you are giving the basic components itself, and we can choose the Arduino board, and I'm dragging and dropping here, and I'm using two LEDs, and I'm connecting with the resistor. So it was getting connected with the, because we can use any of the input pins, the digital input pins, and we can give the ground in the red. I'm giving the ground in the black, and also I'm giving the 5 volt supply in the plus 5 volt. So I'm getting connected. So I'm just giving the start simulation. You can able to see the color of the LED is blinking. Both the colors are blinking. So if I wish to change the settings, if you are clicking the code, so you can able to see the blocks also. So you can able to see the blocks here, and if we want to choose the blocks plus text, we can see both the blocks and also the text. And if I wish to see only the text, so I can choose here. So here, if I wish to give the delay seconds as, for example, I'm giving 500. If I wish to change that as 500, so I'm just giving. Then I'm just stop simulating. So the LED is blinking for the 500 seconds. It was started to glow. So for these connections, we no need to put any codings or else anything, because we just connected, but we are giving the conditions only for if it is of getting delay of 1000 seconds or else 500 seconds, like that, we can easily able to give through this. Next thing I will show. Temperature sensor I can show, sir. Sir, I am placing here one temperature sensor. So you can able to find all the basic components here. So if you are just typing temperature sensor, so you can able to find the temperature sensor here. So I'm just dragging and dropping here. So then I wish to show the RGB. So RGB, so I'm here typing here RGB. So I'm getting LED RGB. So I'm having LED RGB. So I'm just dragging and dropping here. So the same connection I have did. So, but due to running out of time, so I'm just showing the simulated experiments. So I'm connecting all the three resistance. For R, I'm connecting one resistance, and G, I'm connecting one resistance, and B, I'm connecting one resistance. But RGB has another one as a cathode. So cathode part is connected with the ground. So for same temperature also, you can see the power supply. So I'm giving the power supply to the ground 5-volt supply. So I'm using, this is the output voltage. So I'm taking through the analog inputs, and here I'm giving the ground connection. But here we have to set the conditions. Why we have to set the conditions means, here for example, if we no need to make the coding, if we don't have any much knowledge on coding, we used to have the blocks. So for the blocks, we can give the inputs and also the outputs, notations, control, whatever the control we want to make, then mathematical operations, then variables and everything we can do it here. So I'm just I'm setting my pin, set RGB LED pin. So here you can see, because these components are already present in the, whenever we are clicking in the output, we can able to see the components. So I'm just dragging and dropping here, set RGB LED pins, because I'm giving the connection 11th pin, 10th pin and 9th pin. So I'm, one second. So I'm just giving the 11th pin, 10th pin and 9th pin. Then I'm setting the V temperature. So how we can see the temperatures here means, we can click on the notation. You can give the variables, then automatically it will be available. So I'm just placing the temperature, and it has to be read by the temperature sensor. So I'm giving A0, because why I'm giving A0 means through the analog pins we are able to read the. Then I'm choosing the conditions I have to give. So I'm choosing if then else condition. So I'm placing it here. So I'm placing it here. If then, so I'm placing set RGB pins 11 to color red. So again, I'm placing, if the temperature value is above the 50 means red color has to be glow, and if it is above 30 has to be glow the color yellow, and if it has to be, if the threshold value is above 10, then it has to be glow green color. So I'm fixing it simulation. You can able to see the color of the LED light is getting changed. So I'm just increasing and decreasing the temperature sensor value. So you can able to see the color, the changing of color. So when I'm increasing, the threshold value is if it is of above, so it can be it can be showing the red, then green, yellow, like that. It can be changed according to the conditions. So we can do like n number of experiments through through this software, and this is an open source software only. So with this, I'm winding up the session because we are running out of time. And as a faculty members, we all have to be proud that we have to follow the rule of E equal to MC squared. because M stands for the motivation, and C for commitment, and E for excellence. And whatever the field we are good at, we have to be very excel in that particular domain, and we have to be like this white bulb. We have to be unique, and we have to glow like this bulb. And thank you, sir. And if you're having any queries, you can reach me at my contact number, and also you can reach me at my mail ID. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for your informative session.
Yes,
I
sir.
request the gathering to raise queries if you have any, or else you can use the chat box to raise your queries now, please. Okay, thank you, ma'am, for
sir. Thank
accepting
you,
our
sir.
invitation, and you
Yes,
have
sir.
given a good session throughout 1.5 hours. And
Yes, sir.
on behalf of IC department and Geology Polytechnic College, we extend our warm thanks to you, ma'am, for accepting
sir.
this invitation and make this session a fruitful one. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for providing this opportunity to deliver the session, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
You're most welcome, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I request the participants to fill up the feedback things, and the feedback link has been posted in the chat box. So I request the participants, professors, to put your valuable feedback. So we shall resume back here by 11:15. So I request all the gathering to resume here back by 11:15 for session 2. Thank you.